the one who was saved. Arthur's house was quiet, not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the heavy, empty kind. He liked it that way, or so he told himself. His heart felt like a room with a locked door, and he'd long since lost the key. Then, one afternoon, he saw it, a scrap of a cat huddled under the dripping leaves of a bush across the street. It was all matted fur and sharp bones, and when it turned its head, Arthur saw it had only one eye. Something inside him stirred, a feeling he couldn't name. He didn't open the door. Instead, he opened his pantry, found a can of tuna, and quietly placed the open can on his back step before retreating into the shadows of his kitchen. The food was gone the next morning, so he left out more. A silent routine began. The man in the quiet house and the one-eyed cat in the lonely world. They never got close, but they were no longer completely alone. One night, the sky ripped open. Thunder rattled the windows, and rain lashed against the glass in a furious torrent. Arthur watched the trees bend and sway, and he thought of the little cat, alone in the storm. He found himself at the back door, his hand on the knob. He turned it. The wind howled, and for a second the cat just stared at him with its one wide, rain-slicked eye. Then, like a shadow, it slipped inside. Arthur brought it an old towel. The cat, after a moment's hesitation, allowed him to gently dry its matted fur. It curled up on the rug, a small, dark shape against the floorboards. "Cinder," Arthur whispered to the quiet room. "I'll call you Cinder." The storm passed, but Cinder stayed. The heavy quiet in the house was replaced by the soft sound of a purr. Cinder would follow him from room to room, a tiny, one-eyed shadow that rubbed against his legs and slept at the foot of his bed. One evening, as Arthur stroked Cinder's soft fur, he felt a strange warmth spread through his chest, a feeling he hadn't felt in years. The locked door inside him hadn't been forced open, but had simply dissolved. He had taken in a stray, a broken thing in need of shelter. He had saved it from the storm. But as he looked at the little cat purring in his lap, Arthur had to wonder, who was the one who was truly saved?